Hey there, how you doing? My name is Drew, and I'm one of the admins of PayOutPro. In this video here, guys, this is our weekly update video number 7. I'm going to be going through all our trading accounts. I'm going to be going over how PayOutPro works, how it's different from everything else out there that you've ever seen in your entire life. The good, the bad, everything, guys. We're going to go over it in this video here, okay? And if you're watching this from the registration page where you can go and create an account and stuff, we update this video every single week. So you'll notice if you decide, hey, I don't want to create my account this week, and you come back next week, you're actually going to see a different video on that page where you can actually follow the weekly updates of how the site's growing, how it's going, and how much funds we have built up in our reservery funds, okay? So we're going to get going here, guys, and what really PayOutPro is this, if you want to think about it this way, it's not really a revenue share, but I say the word revenue share because we're also familiar with what a revenue share is, because what we've done is we've kind of made PayOutPro work in the front end. It looks, it feels for the member like a revenue share where they're earning a percentage per day. When they fund their account, they can start at an extremely, small amount to add funds to the site, like $10 is the minimum deposit, and you can add all the way up to, whatever you like, kind of thing like that. And you can also compound and build your account. You can compound and build through your account there. So that's, of course, externally you can do that. But in the back end, it's not even a revenue share at all. It's totally, totally different, because what we actually do with those funds is we go and we Forex trade, we run marketing campaigns and all that. So in the front end, you're coming in, you're creating your account, you're purchasing what we call a knowledge plan, which gives you the ability to make a daily percentage. And of course, our knowledge plans, we're selling knowledge online. So we're selling marketing trainings, we're selling Forex trainings, we're selling how to make money online. In the back end, we take care of all this kind of magic, which I'm going to show you here in this video. And that kind of makes it, guys, when you just look at the site, it looks like a revenue share. It feels like a revenue share. But once you get to understand it and know it, you're like, this is far from a revenue share. This is, something completely new. New idea, new kind of design, new kind of concept here. So let's jump into this, and we're going to show you guys some earnings and stuff here, okay? So actually, let's start at the homepage here first. So you can see here, we just got going, guys, with this. This is our weekly update video number 7, so week number 7. So the system's actually only been going. This is our 3rd week for the system. So we're going into week number 4 for the system, which would be 1 month this following week here, guys, which is really exciting. We're almost up to 2,500 members inside the system. We didn't have any kind of big, huge pre-launch or anything. It was just a couple weeks long, the pre-launch. About 600 people were promoting during that time. And we built up to about, I would say, I think it was around 1,500 to 1,600 members is what we launched with. So we've brought in another, say, 1,000 people over the following 3 weeks or so here, okay, which is pretty good. Earnings through the system members have earned just over $6,000. But look at this, guys, okay? And I know this is another different part about PayOutPro. Most systems don't show you this. They don't show you the earnings and the withdrawals right on the homepage, okay? So this is the cool thing about PayOutPro, is that there's a lot of withdrawals coming out of this system, and they're almost about half of what, well, actually, if you look at this, it's more than half of what the earnings are, okay? So if you look at the normal, typical structure of a revenue share or an investment site or a hippie-hypey site, or these, same kind of concept as you fund to earn, you'll notice they don't normally share with you the total earnings, but if they do, you'll notice that these total earnings are way, way, way more than the total paid out, is because those systems are based around holding your funds in the system as long as possible. And normally what they do is they have a bunch of different balances where the balance that's actually your withdrawable balance is very, very small, and it's only, 30% of your earnings or 50 or 40 or 60% of your earnings. Guys, with PayOutPro, it's 100% of your earnings are withdrawable. Like, you have to withdraw your 100% of your earnings out of the system, and that's why our withdrawal balance is so much, even to the point where we just started 3 weeks ago and it's over half of what the actual earnings are in the system. You got to remember, a lot of people are coming in here. The minimum withdrawal is $12 and they've only funded $10. A lot of people have done that, right? So most of this here is from people coming in funding $500 or $300 or $1,000. We've even had a couple people fund over $5,000 into the system, okay, which is pretty cool there, okay? So let's jump into this here. We'll get into the our biggest external source of income, guys, which is Forex trading. And once again, If you're sitting on the fence and you're thinking, okay, I've been looking at this for a couple weeks, I'm still not really 100% sure. I just don't really get it. I don't understand, like, what is all this and that kind of stuff, guys. Then watch these videos start to finish, because you'll really get a feeling and understanding of how we're creating these funds, what we're doing, and how powerful this system is. And it's not just, I know there's a lot of hype out there, a lot of, PayOutPro is great. Oh my God, look at that, I'm making money after the first, 4 days or whatever, 3 days. A lot of hype around it, but if you actually take the time and look into how this thing works, you'll see that it's so different than everything else out there, and it's very exciting. Okay, so we'll start here. You'll see there's 10 different accounts here, and they all have about $7,500 in them. So we're sitting on our reserve refund right now, guys, and that's what this is. These are funds that we're building funds off, basically, is our reserve refunds. Like, we're using funds for marketing campaigns, we're using funds for Forex trading, and we're sitting at just over $75,000 right now, guys, for our reserve refunds. Like, these are funds we don't need for withdrawals. Like, this is really, really cool if you think about it that way, right? Like, these funds are creating funds for withdrawals, creating funds for earnings inside the system here. So, that's another huge thing about PayOutPro, is that, the ad funds coming in through the site is not paying out the withdrawals. It's not creating the earnings for the other members that have been in there. Starting off when we first launched the site, guys, how we're creating those earnings and creating those withdrawals is through our external sources of income. Okay, so we're going to get into that right now. So I'm going to go into account USD number 7, and I've got all my accounts here, guys. I kind of just mark them off, check them off, so we don't look at the same thing twice. And that's that. Okay, so you can see here, this account here, we go basically by where we turned things off. So the last 7 days of results. So I'm just going to bring up my calendar, and we'll look at what was 7 days ago. Okay, so things were turned off, we'll say Friday. So Thursday, Friday, things were off. Things came back on the 14th. So we would have went off last week at the 10th or the 11th, okay? So we'll go back to the 10th or 11th here, okay? So this is this week's of earnings, okay? So it would be the 11th, okay? So you can see here, this is Forex trading, right? So Forex trading is from Monday to Friday. There's no market to trade in on the weekend. If people say there is, I don't know what they're thinking, but anyways, it's Monday to Friday, basically, okay? So you can see there the 11th till the 14th, that was the weekend, okay? So from the 11th till the 14th. So the 14th was the start of this trading week here, okay? So we're going to go from the 11th till today's, the 17th, which was last Thursday or Friday, okay? It was when things turned off. So the 11th, so we're at 33.02%. Okay, now we're sitting at 48.55. So that's a huge jump, guys. They're over 10%. What we need to create to make the system work, our minimum earnings per day, guys, is 1%. So we need to create about 5% per week for the members to make this thing work. And we're creating roughly around, I believe it's around 15% on average, or 10% on average per week here, which is about double what we need. Okay, and that's why things are building up so fast, and we have over $75,000 in reserve refunds for the system that the system's making money off, which is really cool here. Okay, so you can see that's pretty cool. These are all real accounts here. You can see there's funds withdrawing out of them. They're not demo accounts; they're real live Forex trading accounts, and they've been going for about a month, guys. So just before we launched the system, we kind of started these accounts up here. Okay. Been going, and they all started off at $1,000, and then with members purchasing our knowledge plans through the site, what we do then is we've made a sale. So now that funds is ours. Basically, we can do what we like with those. So we go and we create external source of income, which pays out the PayOutPro withdrawals and earnings and all that kind of stuff through Forex trading, through marketing campaigns and such. Okay, so let's get going here. We'll go to the next one. We'll go to number 9. Don't mind me, guys. I'm kind of a little under the weather here. I get sick a lot because we've got a 3-year-old, and he gets sick a lot. My wife gets sick, and then I get sick, and it's just this like sickness cycle that goes around the house. It's crazy all winter long. It's nuts for about a month now. I've been getting better, and then all of a sudden I'll get sick again. It kind of sucks. Okay, so let's look at this here. We can see, we'll go back to the 11th. Okay, so same, guys, same. It was turned off on the 11th. We went into the weekend. The weekend ended on the 14th. And then this whole last week here was this percentage. So the 11th was 72.1%, and then now we're sitting at an 87.23%. So once again, that's over 10%. It's almost 20% that we're sitting on there, about 18% or 17% gain there over just the 1 week period, which is really good. Once again, this is a live account. You can see there's withdrawals out of it, and that's, these withdrawals are creating the withdrawals out of the system there, okay, and paying for the system and, making all this stuff work. And also, what we do here, guys, with the funds, like you'll notice if you add all this up, it's about, what is it? Probably about $14,000 or $15,000 if you're to go through all the withdrawals and add it up, all the gain, the profit. So what we do is this is another way that we build these accounts as well, okay, through, doing that kind of thing there and creating funds for the withdrawals and making it not a Ponzi scheme, because that's the big thing in our space, guys, as fun to earn opportunity is, most of them are structured to set up and be a Ponzi scheme and last only, a couple of weeks to a couple of months if they're lucky, where the new members coming in are basically, adding funds to the site and paying out those withdrawals. You can see here, this is live proof, guys, in this video. Every single week I put out a video like this where we go through this and we show you and we prove to you that that's not how this system's structured and that's not how it's set up. And you'll notice every single week these accounts get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, like if you go back to week number 1 or 2, you'll notice they're only $1,000 an account, and we've actually added 2 additional accounts to this. There was only, I think, 8 accounts when we started off, and now we have 10 accounts. So things are going good, guys. Things are looking up. So we're here right now. This is USD number 2. I'm just going to mark it off. Okay, and we'll go back to the 11th. The end of the last week, and then over these this week's gain here, guys, you can see we're at 47.57, and then now we're sitting at a 65.84 gain. You can see this is once again, this is a live account that we're working with here. Almost $1,000 withdrawn out of this account here, and you'll notice all accounts are sitting at about $7,500 now each, and there's about 10 accounts. Okay. I'm also going to talk about in this video system goals, where we're moving, what's our target, in that sort of thing. Also in this video here. So we're going to go into account number 4. Okay, this one here, guys, 54.38. We'll go back to the 11th there. You can see the 11th exactly, kind of 7 days ago or so. You notice it was a 43.45, and then now we're sitting at a 54.38. So another, that's 10% throughout this account here, and this account has withdrawn $674. So that was number 4. Number 6. Why I have to track these, guys, is because sometimes the numbers move around on me, and then I'll show an account twice, and people are like, "Wait a minute, he's trying to fake something." So trying to get all this stuff down here so I don't hear any of that kind of thing in the comments. Okay, there you go. And we're going to look at this one. So we can look at this one here, guys. This account alone created $1,245 of withdrawals throughout this account here alone, which is really, really cool. And what it means by withdrawals is, these funds, 100% of these funds might have not been withdrawing out of the Forex trading platform, guys. What it is we're going and we're evening out accounts at the end of the week. So you'll notice at the end of the week, the accounts are always the same size, even though some accounts are earning more than others. And you'll even notice some weeks, maybe one account won't earn at all, or it'll be in a bit of a loss. Those kind of things, we're evening the accounts out. So that goes towards withdrawals as well. Okay. So let's look at this here, and we're going to the 11th. This is 65. This is a huge jump here, guys, about 20% this week. 65.72, and we're at 85.51 the end of this week here. So from the 11th to the 17th, there you go. Okay, so that's another big jump, and that was account number 6. We looked at that. We'll go to account number 8 now. Okay, And here we go here. This is another withdrawals over $1,000 in this one. We're at 66.55. There's a 45.21 all the way up to 66.55. So another huge week there, guys. You know, sitting around close to 20% there, I think. 48, 60. Yeah, so pretty close to around 15, 16%. Okay. Nice. Let's go to the next one here. So 8. We look at 3. Nope. Okay, so we'll go to number 3. Okay, another thing I like to cover in these videos, I just started covering this last week. Guys, and I kind of try and go over, because, you know, these videos are on YouTube. You're watching this. You could be even watching this from YouTube. You might not even be watching this from the registration page. But, you know, people even like to call out things like this, like, oh, you're not looking at the actual gain. You know, the actual gain is ABS gain. Guys, that's not how it works. ABS gain basically means the growth of your account through adding funds to your account as well. Okay, so you got to remember these accounts start off at $1,000. Now they're at $7,500, which would bring that ABS gain down huge. This here is the actual gain through your Forex trading account. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out as well. Okay, so, and please, guys, if you see something here you're suspicious about, or you're thinking like, okay, maybe I should say something about this, or maybe he's not right about this or that or whatever, like leave me a comment in the comments, and then the next week I can follow up with, you know, responding back to your question or whatever. Because, guys, this is all, you know, any kind of question you're going to learn from it, right? And I kind of feel the same way about that as well. Even as an admin of a system, okay? So this one here, guys, we're looking at 33.72, and now we're sitting at a 51.78, so another huge gain. Withdrawals out of this. This has withdrawed over $1,000 here. The actual profit from these accounts, guys, you can see the profit here. Okay, this profit from this account's almost, you know, just over $1,500. It's $1,608 profit from this account here, okay? So where are we going now? We're at 3. Let's go to 10. Okay, so we're going to go to USD number 10. And this account here, I believe this is one of our newer. Nope, it's not. Okay, so you'll see here we'll go to January 11th. Okay, and this account here, guys, I'm going to explain a little bit about this stuff here. When you're first starting off with a trading account and such, you're testing, you're tweaking a lot here. And we actually started this account in a bad market. So that's why that looks like that. We never start accounts in a bad market or trade in a bad market with system funds. We only do this with test funds, or, you know, my personal kind of funds there. So through this bad market, you can go back and you can watch, you know, I think the first 2 update videos, week number 1, week number 2, and you'll see that it was just $1,000 we were testing with through these bad markets here. Okay, throughout here, you'll notice trading and stuff is a lot super stable through here, and this is system funds we're trading with here. Okay, so 14.07, and then now we're sitting at a 23.48. So this is one of the smaller gains of the week, and withdrawals out of this, some withdrawals out of that, $465. Profit from this is just over 1,100. Okay, let's move on here. That was 10. Number 5. Okay, so number 5, I think this is the newer. Yeah, this is the new account that we just started 2 weeks ago, I think. Okay, and all those accounts that we've seen up till this account here, guys, were started on December 9th. Okay, so about a month and a half ago. Okay, this one here was started January 4th, so 2 weeks ago this one was started here, and this account was based off 3 of our top earning accounts, so they're basically, this account's following those accounts kind of thing. Okay, here we go to the 11th. So this is 11th here, and we're sitting at 8.44, and now we're sitting at 19.3. So that's a huge jump there as well. Almost, you know, that's a big gain there as well. Okay, and this is this account here has had withdrawals. Why I say the withdrawals is so that you guys know it's not a demo account, it's a live account. 541, and the total profit from this account in just 2 weeks is $1,275, which is pretty awesome. Nice. Okay, so the next account I'm going to show you is our account which we did this account, guys, we did it as a test, and now I have to say this every single time I do this video, is because we're actually using this account as a system account now. But if you watch a video I put out, actually I'm going to go to the YouTube channel right now and just show you guys that video if I can find it. Boop, 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 boop. We'll go to the channel, and I just want to show you, I hope I'm logged into that channel. Yeah, I am. Okay, I want to show you the video that I did this for that account, because we actually created and crashed that account to create this video here. Okay, so this video here, guys, this 44-minute long video is why we created that account, was to create this video. This video probably brought in 200-300 members or so, or no, wouldn't be that much, probably about 100 members or so, by them watching this video and looking at those results and stuff. And guys, this video's on YouTube, so it's going to be constant, like, you know, amount of traffic coming to this video. This video's, people are going to come down here, click the link, they're going to join through our commission pool that we have through the site. That's that link there. And, you know, it's probably going to bring in 1,000 people or 1,500 people or so throughout the year because of what we've created here through this. Okay, so what we basically did, and if you want to learn more information about this account, you can watch this video. Okay, it's just, what is PayOutPro? How does it work? And it's by myself there. It's on our PayOutPro admin channel, which this video is on that you're watching right now. Is we went into a horrible market, and I basically just told the trading team, listen, we want to see this thing just crash, like put it so there's like $10 or $20 left in the account. And that's basically what they did. They went, it was $1,000. This account was $1,000, started with $1,000. And they let it crash. They basically, you know, you can see here, guys, like at one point here, after the first couple days, it was at minus 69%. And I said, you know, just keep on letting it go down, 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 because my goal is to do this, is to make this video here, which was, where is it? This right there, a results video of how stable this system can be if it goes through some kind of, you know, something happens and we lose, say, 90% of our reserve funds, right? Where we can actually, by going and looking at these results here, you know, I'm not saying this is going to happen every single time, or, you know, if we do lose 90% of funds, this is the result and outcome that we could create. This is a possible outcome that we could create because we've done it before. By, you know, looking at this, you can see it came back to life. Basically, it took about 3 weeks to do it, but we brought it back to life. Okay, so that's what this video is about, because that's a huge problem in our space. Is, yeah, something's great, something works, and it's paying out for months and months and months, and then what if blah 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 happens? And, you know, a big problem in our space is websites get hacked. Okay, PayOutPro is not really set up to have funds hacked, because we keep, as you can see here, all the funds are in a broker account, right? And brokers are regulated, they're insured and stuff. It's more like a credit card or kind of like a bank, right? Where you have a system support. If something happens on their end where a hacker gets in, they steal funds, they're insured, and your funds are insured, kind of thing, okay? So that part of it's taken care of. But what if we go and we're to, throughout all our accounts, have a 90% loss, which probably never happened, but have a 90% loss throughout our entire trading platform here, guys? What would happen is we could probably create a scenario like this where we go and, right here, guys, look at this, 90.52% loss. That's loss, right? So if there's $1,000 in this account, which there was a week ago, you know, there would be $100 or $10 or whatever. Yeah, $100 left in this account, $100. Okay, so within over those next 2 weeks, okay, it was brought back up to $1,000, and now it's sitting at $7,500 because we've went and we've you know, made this one of the accounts to trade on inside the system. Okay, so you can see here, if you want to see all that stuff, guys, you can see here about that. You'll even see there's $1,100 and something in this account in this video that I'm doing here, but now this is a system account. Okay, so that's pretty cool if you ask me, right? Just to even go out there and create that kind of result, like, hey, if we're in this scenario, what would happen? Here's a possible outcome that could happen is we could bring it back within a matter of weeks, which is really, really cool. Okay, so that's that. So let's talk about, I think that was the last account we were looking at here. Yeah, we looked at everything because this is account number 1 and we looked at everything. So what, and you can see this is a real account, guys. There's $119 withdrawal out of this, which was 100% of the profit that was made from that 1,000. So you'll notice next week, this account's at $7,500 now. So you'll notice next week there's going to be a lot more profit made from this because it's 7.5 times larger. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about PayOutPro, because I know some people watching this video, you might be watching it to learn some information about PayOutPro, what makes it different, what makes it great. Okay. So there's two extremely strong points about PayOutPro that makes it different from the average, ordinary, fun to earn opportunity out there, like a revenue share site, like mining sites, like, any kind of crypto based site, any kind of investment site, any kind of hippie site, any kind of site that someone would say, hey, this is a Ponzi site. What makes PayOutPro different than all those sites is this, guys. If we go to this website here, we actually follow the SEC, okay, Security and Exchange Commissions for the U.S. We actually follow their guidelines of, if you're going to create a site that is a fun to earn opportunity, how can you create it in a way that it's not structured as a Ponzi scheme? Okay, so we follow the guidelines of that, as in, this is what they say, guys, and this is, these SEC guys, they've taken down payment processors, they've taken down, offline companies, they've taken down huge fun to earn opportunities with member bases of over 1 million members in them. Those kind of things. So they don't mess around, guys. They basically just take the domain and there's nothing you can do about it. They even seize funds and all that kind of stuff. So this is what they basically outline, is that 100% of the withdrawals out of your system must come from an external source of income, not an internal source of income. So internal means something like the members are buying something inside the system, which, might be on-site advertising, or say if they're buying our knowledge plan inside the system, okay, that would be an internal source of income. So if we are to pay out our members' withdrawals and create their earnings through members purchasing inside the system, that would be a Ponzi scheme in these guys' eyes, which, some people might vote against that or debate, is that a Ponzi scheme or not? I'm kind of on the fence about it, guys, because most businesses out there have to sell a product to pay their employee. So that's kind of how I'm sitting with it. But PayOutPro has went ahead and made it 100% that everything here and everything here is created externally. Okay? As you saw the, first, whatever this is now, 20 minutes into this video. Okay, you saw all these trading accounts here. We've created, look at that, like $14,119. And these funds here, we'd only have to create $6,067. We've created way more than twice as much as we've needed. Okay, so that's the big thing about PayOutPro, guys. And what makes it different is that this here and this here is not coming from new people joining the site or new people purchasing something inside the site to pay out the withdrawals of members that are making withdrawals. Okay, so we've actually created those funds externally. Okay, so that's one big thing. The other big thing that is still, many people think of it as not that big of a deal, guys, but these guys, when they're involved with taking down, I'm not going to name any names, but a huge revenue share site out there that had, I think, 3 million members or something at the time when the SEC government took their domain, and then basically, I think they even took some of their funds or held their funds, or I don't know what they did, guys. But anyways, they basically made that site just stop in their boots kind of thing. And another big problem they had with that website and with many other websites was that the repurchase balance was internal. Okay, so these guys don't really like anything internal. They like everything external. Okay, so what PayOutPro has done is there's no such thing as a repurchase balance inside your account. Okay, you actually have to withdraw, and this is why we have where does it say? I think we listed it on here somewhere. But anyways, we have a 100% withdrawable balance. Okay, so everything that you earn inside the system, so 100% of your earnings, your daily earnings, whatever you're earning inside the system, even referral commission, guys, is 100% withdrawable out of the system. You cannot repurchase anything inside the system with the earnings that you're earning inside the system. Commissions, anything, guys, everything. Your system earnings through your plans, everything goes to the withdrawable balance, which then you withdraw out of the system. So there's no such thing as a repurchasing inside the system, internal repurchasing. So if you remember at the start of this video, I said, you know what? I'm going to talk about the good. I'm going to talk about the bad. I'm going to talk about everything. So with that, there is a huge downside when it comes to making money online. If there's no such thing as a repurchase balance in a fund to earn opportunity, members can't go inside and they can't compound and build internally, which these guys pointed out. Over time, it would consume numbers and not actual funds, is because there's no way of proving that those are funds that you're repurchasing with, because it's in the system, it's numbers, right? It's not actual tangible funds. The member has not touched those funds. Okay, with PayOutPro, 100% withdrawal, so you're touching 100% of your funds you're making. Okay. Once you withdraw them out of the system. Okay, if you want to compound and purchase more, then you'd have to buy through our deposit button in the system, which you've touched those funds, you know it's real. Okay, so that was a big point that these guys made about all these other systems they took down, was if it's an internal repurchase balance, there's no way of the member knowing if it's funds or just numbers they're using in their account. Okay, which totally makes sense to me, if, you know, because you don't know if it's real or not if it's just a number in your account. Okay, it's only real to you when it hits your payment processor, when you actually withdraw it out of the system. Okay, so that's a huge PowerPoint about PayOutPro. Okay, the downside of this, as I was saying before, we're going to talk about ups and downs and you know, the good, the bad, they're everything. Okay, so the downside about PayOutPro, and this is kind of the only really negative thing that I see about PayOutPro, and I see people talking about it there, is this, guys, is the fact that when you make a withdrawal out of the system, you have to pay a fee, because there's two reasons behind this, guys. The first one is when it deals with merchants and payment processors and members doing a withdrawal, that member's going and doing a transaction, and you have to pay a fee for the transaction to the payment processor that transacts that fee for you, or transacts that transaction for you. Okay, you'd have to pay a fee that way. Okay, with the other thing here, there's a part two of this, guys. The other thing with PayOutPro is you can fund in USD or you can fund in Bitcoin. Okay, 99.9% of the members are funding in Bitcoin, just because Bitcoin's so popular and everyone wants Bitcoin. Not too many people are using USD online anymore when it comes to earning opportunities, if they allow Bitcoin in their system. So what we have to do, because it's very, very super unstable to hold your funds in Bitcoin in your account in the system, because Bitcoin fluctuates, it moves, it's extremely, extremely violent market. If we were to trade in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, there would be, you know, for instance, if we're doing the system this past October, November, December, and even now kind of thing, the currency's dropped. Bitcoin has dropped like 50% since last September, right? So, you know, that's an extremely violent market to have a system in, and we would have to, you know, our gain would have to be 50%, or it'd have to be the loss in Bitcoin plus what we're creating for those members per day. So our gain would have to be way more than even what we're creating here, which is about 2 to 3 times as much as what we actually need, right? Okay, so you think about it that way. So systems that are holding your account in Bitcoin are actually unstable. Okay, and I'm not saying that because a lot of systems do that. I'm just saying it's actually unstable to hold members' accounts in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin fluctuates so much. And how can you guarantee, or just even say, hey, I'm going to give you 1% per day on your Bitcoin if Bitcoin's dropping 50% in 2 months. It's almost impossible to create 1% per day as Bitcoin's dropping 50% over a month or two. It's just impossible to do that. Like, I don't know anybody who's doing that. Like, it's kind of crazy. Okay, so if we hold accounts in USD, then it creates a stable system because the USD is extremely more stable than what Bitcoin is. It's not going to fluctuate by 50% within a month, kind of thing. You never see it do that. Okay. Kind of thing. Okay. So that's another downside, is that we then have to charge a fee because we're converting. You can see all this stuff's in USD. Okay. You see the little dollar sign where? Right here. Okay. There's the accounts. See these dollar signs? That means that these accounts are in USD. So our reserve funds are in USD. We're holding our funds and trading with our funds. Every single marketing campaign, all that kind of stuff, guys, deals with USD as well. Okay, so we have to hold funds and create funds in USD. So another downside of the system is we have to charge inside the system conversion fees. Okay, so on the way in, funding is a 1% fee to fund the account, which is barely nothing. Most accounts are actually, systems out there are actually higher than that. But here's the thing, guys. From the start to the finish, it's 6% fee because the withdrawal fee is 5% to withdraw your funds out of the system. So, guys, I know it's weird for me to sit here and say kind of that kind of thing in the video, even though you haven't created your account or anything, or you're just thinking about this. But, when I'm out there and I'm promoting something or I'm joining something, I want to know the downsides of a system. And I honestly believe those are the only two downsides of the system, is that there's fees in the system, which there's nothing we can do about it. If we want the system to be stable, they have to be there. But in all, there's going to be more fees than your average system out there, because your average system most likely is structured, I don't want to say this, but to be kind of like a Ponzi scheme and work against what these guys want. And if you want to be in a system that's going to last and be structured to last, then we have to charge fees. We have to have fees. We have to hold accounts in USD. We can't hold them in Bitcoin. It just doesn't make any sense, right? If you're funding in Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes through a loss of 50%, that would kill our entire system, because we can't create that 1% per day. We'd have to turn withdrawals off. Members wouldn't be withdrawing. They'd start saying they're being scammed. Even though they can see the proof that Bitcoin has dropped 50%, and that's the reason why a system's not working that's using Bitcoin, guys. And we're seeing a lot of systems out there that they've went through that, and they've actually had to rethink their system, or they've had to turn their system off or recreate a new system because of this Bitcoin crash. And we can't predict. Maybe next year it'll happen again. We don't know. Okay, so that's a huge reason why PayOutPro is held in USD, is because Bitcoin is too unstable. But funding with Bitcoin and withdrawing in Bitcoin and making Bitcoin is one of the best things in the world. So we have Bitcoin in our system. Okay. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is week number 7, and I'll see you in week number 8. Once again, get back to the person that showed you this video. Or if you're on the registration page, I recommend that you create an account, guys. I think PayOutPro is going to be one of the biggest systems of the year. I just think it makes sense. It kind of hits all the angles, and it hits all the pluses of in our space. Like, what are the problems in our space, guys? It solves most of these problems if you think about it, right? Okay. And it's a fun to earn opportunity, which are really, really fun out there. And they're a positive thing to be in, because every single day, when you're in your account 5 days a week in PayOutPro, you're going to see an earnings balance in there without, having to think about selling, without having to think about, building a team or doing anything special, learning some crazy marketing strategy or whatever kind of thing like that. It's just you fund it. It's a fun to earn opportunity. You're funding, you're earning. It's really, really cool that way. So that's it. My name's Drew, and I'll see you inside. Fill out your details there and click that button. See ya. Bye-bye.